I'm Richard Hooper and this is SatTV Week. Now I'm pleased to be joined by Richard Jacklin of ViaLite. Richard, thank you for joining us today. We've spoken many times before, but what's the market doing? What are ViaLite seeing as the trends?
Okay, so obviously one of the major trends this year and for the next few years is the deployment of the LEO constellations. So ViaLite Communications, we're a supplier into the ground segment. We supply RF over fibre. And obviously we're trying to meet the need of the new LEO constellations and the requirements they have. Versus sort of the traditional teleport operators, they're looking for scale, modularization, miniaturization, and obviously very cost effective.
Now everybody's talking about LEO constellations. Is it a certain amount of hype? They're not all going to succeed. What's the view of ViaLite?
So obviously the opportunity is large. I mean, each of the LEO operators are looking for, in some cases, tens of gateways each. So that's a very different scale to traditional large sort of hub teleports today. Is it hype? I don't know. I think 2020 is a real testing year. We're seeing the deployment of the satellites now, and how that translates into the ground segment, I think, is still an open question. Obviously, we're gearing our products up for that market, and products like this, the ODE-MINI, which is one of our outdoor products for the LEO market. So, yeah, let's see if that hype gets realised at the end of this year.
So, just broadening this conversation out a bit, everybody's talking about new space.
Yeah.
What does that actually mean to a company like ViaLite?
Yeah, so the RF over fibre as a technology has been around 25 years. I mean, we've been doing this for a very long time. So for us, there's obviously a whole new set of customers coming into the market. They're not like the crusty old RF engineers of old that you kind of imagine with the older sort of satellite industry. And I think they're bringing in a lot of fresh perspective. They want to do things differently. And I think that's great. It's new blood into the industry, and I think all industries need this from time to time.
Geographically, what sort of regions are performing the best at the moment?
So our two strongest regions are Europe and North America. Asia Pacific, so about 10% of our business today comes from Asia Pacific, but it's growing. And what's driving the growth there is they're trying to deploy more diverse satellite links. So what we've been selling a lot of have been sort of long distance links. So at this show, for instance, at the satellite show this year, we've got more products around the long distance link area that can cope with the more unique challenges of an emerging economy. So over there, the the fibre links may not be as good a quality as you might expect in Europe or North America. So we have to adapt the products for that market.
So finally, moving forward, what are the goals that you're trying to reach this year?
So obviously we have new products which we're launching. We want to get those successful. I think where we are for the future is following the general trend, I suppose, of satellite, which is moving towards higher frequencies and satellites. So obviously Ka band dominates now, but in the future that will move to sort of the Q and the V bands. So we have to make product which adapts to that use of the higher part of the radio spectrum and the bandwidth that goes with it as well. So Ka band is 3 or 4 gigahertz of bandwidth. So that requires a really good quality link to do that effectively without having it with noise problems. So we'll follow that trend. The higher radio spectrum, increased bandwidth.
Well, interesting times. Thank you for talking to us.
You're welcome. Thank you.